Hello and welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. And yeah, make sure to smash a like as you're coming through or when you're watching this, on the playback. And when I mean playback, I mean after the stream has ended, not that app playback. But yeah, GVO Mics on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And I was meant to be doing this stream 4 hours ago. That's when I was meant to be doing the stream 4 hours ago. But it was meant to be announced 3 to 4 p.m. according to ex-West Ham employee. But as he wasn't given a confirmation to do the emojis just yet, and obviously a bit of delay with the medicals, agents, stuff, and all that nonsense, Crysencio Summerville has finally signed for West Ham United. Yes, Josiah, our attack is going to be so dangerous next season, especially with the players playing in the right position. That's going to be good as well. Summerville on the left, Bowen on the right, Kudus in the middle, and hopefully Fulkirk up front. But West Ham have completed Crysencio and Summerville signing. I'm going to read out the stuff from the website. Obviously, I can't share it because in case of copyright. And you know what football clubs are like when it comes to copyright. I got a copyright strike for sharing highlights, so I'm not going to share anything from a website. I didn't do that for the previous press conferences and stuff like that. But as you're coming in, guys, make sure to like the video. We're going to go straight into the Summerville signing. Obviously, I tweeted this earlier about people wanting big announcements and stuff as well. Like, guys, we ain't got time for that. We've got about 3 or 4 players coming in, so we ain't got time for the big announcements like we were doing 2 years ago. Like the Paquetá announcement, the Mohamed Kudus announcement last year, the Anderson announcement a few years ago, even the likes of Flynn Dunn's Corday again announcements, and the Skamaka one was probably one of the better ones as well. Like, we ain't got time to do that. But anyway, West Ham is delighted to announce the new signing of exciting young winger Crysencio Summerville. The 22-year-old joins the Hammers from the EFL Championship club Leeds United on a 5-year deal with an option to extend for a further year. A product of Feyenoord's famed Varkenhood Youth Academy, Summerville joined Leeds in 2020 and impressed in the Premier League. Last season, he provided 19 goals and 9 assists and was named EFL Championship Player of the Season as Leeds went within 1 victory and winning promotion back to the top flight. Now the Rotterdam-born wide player will return to the Premier League with West Ham United, where his dribbling, crossing, passing and finishing abilities will provide a new dimension to head coach Julian Lopetegui's squad. I'm very happy and I can't wait to get started, said Summerville, who gained senior experience as a teenager during loan spells at FC Dordrecht and ADO Den Haag. It's the perfect next step for my career. West Ham United is a huge club, they all say this, with lots of ambition and great players, so I'm really excited to get here and get going. I'll always try and follow my heart, and I had the feeling this is the best place for me to continue developing as a player, and I push my potential as much as possible. Yeah, he said, and that's the main quote that they're kind of pushing out. That some people are saying, listen, I'm not even saying this just because it's us yet, but like our kind of level, like just below the big 6 clubs, was the great step for his career. Obviously, he really impressed in the Championship last season and was probably the standout player for Leeds. A lot of people would say Archie Gray, but when you really watched him, it was Summerville. Archie Gray did good, but there were even times where Archie Gray could have done better, and that was in the Championship. Archie Gray will take time to adjust to Tottenham, whereas Summerville won't take that much time to adjust. We will give him time, of course, but when given time, he will provide the results. Trust me on that. Especially with final third quality, we've needed a winger that could go inside and outside. And as much as defenders think they know that he's cutting in, they're not going to be able to stop it. And that's going to really help with the likes of Fulkirk coming in, Bowen on the other side. You know what attack is going to look like. And we're going to see some of them tonight. There is so much history here, says Summerville, and the team have done so well in the Premier League and in Europe over recent years. I spoke to the head coach, and he convinced me that I would make an impact and help achieve success in a new season. I think I'm here to write more history here, and I'd love to help West Ham get back into Europe. That is the goal. Maybe not this season, but I'm not expecting it this season. I'm expecting it eventually, though. I want to contribute lots of goals and assists, and I'm so excited to meet my teammates and fans to get out here now. Technical director Tim Steiner believes Summerville has the attributes required to perform and contribute at the highest level after the club fought competition from a number of leading European clubs to secure a signature. I don't think any of them European clubs were actually going to bid for him, though. That's the difference. Obviously, we know Liverpool were interested, but no, he was just on the short list of Liverpool. Like, it wasn't actually going to go. They weren't actually going to go in for Summerville, but their main target is Anthony Gordon at the end of the day. We're delighted to bring Crysencio to West Ham United, said Steinen. We've been monitoring his progress for a little while now. We couldn't be happier to have completed the deal to sign him. Get your thoughts in the chat. as well. Get your thoughts in the chat on the Summerville signing and how you're feeling right now that we've actually eventually signed the player. We feel Crysencio will enhance our existing depth in the attacking third. He is an exciting player with blistering pace, agile movement, and an abundance of creativity off the wing. He has already proved himself in English football, having been a key player for Leeds United in both Premier League and Championship over the last few years. The signing is another statement of intent from the club. With the support of the board, we continue to work officially to evolve our squad at the beginning of the 24-25 Premier League season, and the young players with the pedigree of Crysencio will help us reach our potential moving forwards. We are all confident that Crysencio has a bright future ahead, and we look forward to seeing him continue to go from strength to strength in claret and blue. Everyone at West Ham United would like to welcome Crysencio and his family to East London and wish him every success for his career in claret and blue. So that is the statement that has been read out from the club, of course, and I am very happy with the signing. I'm very happy with it. I didn't think we'd actually get it done. Obviously, it was reported literally nearly 2 weeks ago. Initially from Fabrizio Romano. Obviously, Expresso employee is the first, because he knows everything about the club before anyone. But Fabrizio put it out to the public that we bidded for him and we inquired about him, and it was known to be too expensive after the sale of Archie Gray. I didn't think it was going to get done because of that, and I thought we had a certain price, but it looked like Leeds have come to us and dropped the price. I don't know why you've done this, Melon. You did this earlier today in Steve's stream. I don't know. You started as something that I'm in prison for some reason. I don't know why you've done this. Big up Melon as always. But yeah, I'm very happy with the signing, of course. It gives you something dynamic. Obviously, we've needed pace for years. Like, we've needed pace ever since we moved London Stadium. Like, we haven't really had pace in West Ham sides at all, which is bad. That's a bad enough attribute to lack in general, because a lot of teams in the Premier League and just in general football have players with pace. And I'm not talking just pace merchants, people that can't control the ball whilst running at players. I'm talking players that can control the ball, slalom between one or two players, and take people one with 1v2 situations and can actually finish. That's the kind of player he is, and that's the kind of player he can develop in that. Less pace than age, and inshallah, you're taking a piss. Forever blowing ACLs, Jesus Christ. Says the one with Mudryk in his team, Jesus. But that's the thing with Crysencio Summerville. You got like Bowen and Kudus that will run down the right most of the time, and they'll have to take on players like 1v3 situations. And people would usually double up and triple up on our right-sided attackers. But now our left-sided attackers are also going to be just as good. The Guilhermes and the Summervilles, they give you two different things. One could go around specifically around the outside of the inside with his left, and the other can do it with his right. Nah, Melon's cool, man. Don't worry, just yes, Mike. Big up Carl as well. I know, Carl, you're especially happy with this as well because you've always wanted Summerville for as long as you've been in my chat for the past week. I know you're happy with this because you were even asking me is the Summerville deal back on and stuff. You're taking a piss. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy with this, guys. Obviously, as well, as you're joining in, we'll be live again later today for the watch along at 11:50 p.m. For the Crystal Palace West Ham United watch along at the Sunshine State Tour game again, just like we did last week for the Wolves game. And luckily, there probably isn't a delay to kickoff this time. So hopefully we can stream on time and we can get the viewers in. Because last time we did a stream, I tried to do the stream and more viewers came into the non-watch along than they did the normal watch along. So stay up and join me on the watch along. But with Summerville as well, I know people wanted him to play an American game, but listen, there's no point making a man travel just for one game. And then for him to travel back to London. It's not that the guy's not fully fit anyway. The guy has been playing games, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, bro, I know you're happy. I know of all people as well, me and you are probably the biggest Summerville praisers out there. Imagine there is a fucking delay again. I hope not. I really hope not. I know we're not the only team to suffer with this as well because I know Man City suffered with it in the Barcelona game in Florida as well. But There should be a delay this time. There should be a delay this time. Again, like this brings a whole new dynamic to the squad. Like him and Emerson could build a very, very good partnership down the left hand side. Obviously, with Emerson, hopefully more hugging the touchline and some of them more cutting in. They can switch around as well. Emerson's good at playing on the inside, and Summerville's good at hugging the touchline as well. But you want the Summerville type players, the Bowen type players, to just stay in the pockets and just cut in because they are final third attackers. Like they can be creative as well, but they are mainly final third attackers. They will be able to link up well with the striker. The ball will get into the striker. His back will be to goal, pause, and then runners in behind and stuff. Like he's going to bring the ball in and bring players in, and hopefully that is full crook. Obviously, the here we go was yesterday. So people seem to like my reaction to that, and that was very genuine because I thought I was getting trolled live on my channel. Was someone saying that fucking full crook was the here we go? I did not expect that live on live on my channel, but I always wanted a news headline to pop up whilst on my channel, so that was good. That was good, but yeah, man, we didn't need to make him travel. Like he's been playing games. I'm pretty sure. I know he pulled out of the last game because they said he was injured. Obviously, he wasn't injured. He was just chatting to us. Um, has the announcement been made? Yeah, the announcement's been made. We're not waiting for all three. Then, I don't imagine the other announcements are going to come yet because, like, the Guido Rodriguez and Fulcrook ones, they're even doing their medical today or tomorrow. So you'd imagine, like, if they were to be announced, it'll be Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe. So we'd probably still have to wait, but fuck it. We know that we pretty much know they're West Ham players. The only thing with the Fulcrook thing, unless Aston Villa accept some random offer for Duran, the Fulcrook one's going through. But I don't think there's going to be any last twist with this Duran thing because Villa have made their bet; they can lie in it. Just go with the Fulcrook deal. We don't need all this drama with Duran because to get Duran done as well, there's going to be so much talk with their agents still. Like it's going to be long to get done. You can get the Fulcrook deal done now, so I'm completely happy with what's going on. And obviously Guido Rodriguez was signed. I actually found out that Guido Rodriguez was on that bus, the Argentina bus with the whole France chant as well. So we have kind of just dipped ourselves into drama with that one, but yeah, maybe Zuma and Cornet and Ariola could just give him a bit of a kick in training and stuff. Because it's not great, but I don't know, man. Because every Premier League team seems to have one player from that bus, but we didn't, and we managed to dip ourselves into drama somehow. I don't know how we managed to make ourselves a part of that, but not many people are talking about it. But I didn't even know he was in that squad at the time. I don't remember him playing much in the tournament. So that's why when we watched the comp, was it yesterday? Yesterday we watched the comp of Rodriguez. Like that was the first time I watched him properly. But with our attack now, like the speed that we're gonna have with our wingers in 1v1 situations is gonna be great. Especially when we played on the front foot now as well. Like you're gonna have a situation where the attack is gonna be way more dynamic than it's ever been. And if you've got like better midfielders as well to distribute the ball to them, like we're going to create so many more chances. We're going to actually feel like if we didn't win the game, it was because we didn't score enough. We weren't clinical enough. But you like to think with the signings that we're making, like Fulcrook has got the experience and the in the box movement. You've got Summerville that's got the running power and the pace, etc. to take people on 1v1. And you've got Bowen, who's Jared Bowen. Like, need I say anymore? It is Jared Bowen. Obviously, I don't know why we made him travel. I don't know why we made Edson Alvarez travel, etc. But because they didn't, in my opinion, they shouldn't have. Because they're literally going to come back to London like in a couple of days. So I don't really see a point. I don't really see a point in that, if I'm being completely honest. I'm trying to see if there's any more quotes. Glad we signed him instead of Reece Nelson. Yeah, so am I. I wanted Reece Nelson as like if we didn't get Summerville, but me wanting Reece Nelson was more for the fact that I didn't think we would get Summerville. We clearly didn't believe in the Reece Nelson signing that much because we didn't even want to pay for him. We wanted a loan with an option to buy, which means we didn't really believe in the player. But we believe in Summerville. Because Reece Nelson, we're talking about injury records, Jesus Christ. That guy's injury record it's not great. It's not great. For a player that doesn't play much, it's not great. I wouldn't have minded deciding, but like we've sorted the winger situation out now. We've got players that can play on both sides of the wing, so we're good for now on the on the wing side. Get the striker over the line, uh, signed, sealed, and delivered. Get the midfielder done, and hopefully the right back done soon. And then we're probably done for the window because we're not going to get a centre back due to the centre backs we already have. So as well, but make sure you guys are there for the watch along as well because we'll be there. I'm looking at this West Ham thing now. 6 things to know about Crysencio. Summerville Landis traded to Feyenoord Academy. I remember he was at Feyenoord in terms of the fact that I knew he was there, but I obviously didn't watch him there. He was a European champion with the Dutch under-17s. Okay. Having listed a piece of silverware, the County of Yorkshire became the permanent side. The Edinburgh side been promoted to the top flight of Bielsa. Okay. Oh yeah, he was in the Premier League too under Leeds as well. Because obviously this guy was like pretty much a breakthrough star. Yeah, it says in the 21-22 season, but he actually scored in that Liverpool game. Like he scored, like he made that winner. I reposted that today. Like the way Patrick Bamford takes a poor touch, like Summerville pretty much has to make that goal. He took a touch and then just slotted it home. Pretty much, like that was what happened. Like if you watch that goal again, is a very underrated goal, very underrated. Like because the Liverpool defenders really should get that, but he's surrounded by all these players and he's just taken a touch and poked it in the back of the net. And to do that at Anfield as well, I know Liverpool were in a bad state at the time, but to do that at Anfield in general was quite impressive. Let's be honest. Let's be completely honest. Obviously, he's scored after that as well. Like he's pretty much been a key player with Leeds ever since the Championship started last year. I mean, it was kind of key in the Premier League, but he didn't really get to show it. But once like Leeds sort of refreshed with Daniel Farker in charge for the first season, you saw the big players shine out. Like Daniel James was all right. Rutter came into his own, and Summerville on the left did really well. Obviously, Wilfred Nonto had his head turned for a bit with the move to Everton and stuff, and that didn't work out with to do with his agent and things like that. And he was banished from the squad and had to make up and come back for that. They'll probably still be fine in the Championship, Leeds United, but who cares? That's the thing is with Summerville as well. Like he's got almost like a point to prove. He's got almost like a point to prove for himself that he probably wants to prove that he can do it regularly in the Premier League as well. So I'd say like in general, when it comes to him being in the Premier League, like he only really had one full season. Now what is happening is he's at a new club. He's going to try to re-establish himself with a whole new system and to make a name for himself pretty much. Because a lot of people seem to think as well that the trajectory of him, like he's going to be, this won't be his last destination. So we're probably going to come into a situation where a lot of clubs are going to be interested in him. Big up Kyle again. Summerville staying in London. He's not going to Tampa yet. Yeah, because unless we would have got that done like yesterday, unless we like announced this signing yesterday, then it probably would have happened. But contract wasn't signed until today, so it wasn't announced that it was signed until a few hours ago. The contract, so I think it makes sense honestly just to keep him in London. I didn't really want him to travel just to go for one game. The lad should be back Monday and then meet new players. Yeah, they're probably going to travel back. Yeah, Monday probably. Or maybe they might even travel back like Sunday evening or something like that. This thing, there's going to be jet lag as well. And hopefully I get to see the new signings at the Betway Cup game as well. Like, I mean, hopefully Rodriguez and Fulcrook will be done by then. And we got a cup game coming up. Well, the season hasn't started, but we've got the Betway Cup. We've got the Betway Cup game against Celta Vigo on Saturday, next Saturday. I'll be there. I know a lot of people aren't going because the whole concession stuff. I don't understand that, but I will be there. And hopefully new players are there. The Fulcrooks and the Rodriguez's. Summerville will be there. It's going to be interesting because they haven't really had much preseason with West Ham United. Obviously, Fulcrook is not completely not match sharp because he played in the Euros, but that was still a couple of weeks ago since he was actually playing. And Rodriguez, the Copa America was a few weeks ago as well. And I don't think he was playing that much, so they're still going to have to get back to fitness. But it's not going to be as it's not going to take as long. Big up Jay Woods. Evening, Mike. Summerville is going to cook for us, bro. Yeah, good evening to yourself, my friend. Yeah, so I believe so as well. Summerville will cook for us as well. Like, this is a guy I want. This is someone I wanted, man. This is someone I wanted for the past year, I'd say. Like, to be fair, we've actually inquired about a lot of players that I have been interested in, but this is one of the few ones that I've been like, yeah, I'm set on this. That's a great signing because it's the technique and pace having a balance of both. Like, I'm really happy with players like that. Like players that can strike a ball and players that can also run at players lightning quick speed and that. You give you a bit more of a dynamism in terms of like the counter attack and playing in possession as well. Big up FIFAzilla. Need that Summerville interview on a YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't know who's going to interview him because obviously Anton Ferdinand interviewed Max Kilman. I think they're going to put him on the podcast thing that James Collins and Chris Skull usually do. You know what they did last year with the new signings with they did it with Phillips, Mavropanos, Kudus, Will Prowse. I think they did it with Alvarez as well. I think he's going to be on the West Ham podcast thing. You reckon Colton Cole? Yeah, do you know what? Colton Cole hasn't done one in a while. I remember he did one with Emerson. Did he do one last year? He did one with Aged. Or yeah, Irons Cast. Yeah, Irons Cast. That's what the podcast's called. Yeah, I think they're going to do an Irons Cast. I think they'll do that. I think he'll be on a podcast. Big up Jay Woods again. If we can have Fulcrook, Rodriguez, and Wan-Bissaka signed by the 10th of August, then we're looking good. Yeah, surely Wan-Bissaka will be signed by next week. You'd hope so, anyway. You'd like to think that Wan-Bissaka will be signed by next week. We know that Fulcrook and Rodriguez will, unless the Duran situation comes up. That's the only thing that can deter it, or unless they fucking fail their medical, which I doubt it. I really fucking doubt it. But with those signings, they will sign this week, so I'm very happy with that. The West Ham admin is just posting very, very cringy stuff, but fuck it, we're here for it. Man said, "When I met you in the summer," that's a Calvin Harris lyric. Fuck's sake, man! You just knew, by the way, that this club was going to do something to do with summer within the title and their caption of the post, because I tweeted this earlier. They waited until a Wednesday to announce Wes Fotheringham so they could say Wednesday. That was cringe as well. But fuck it, we're here for it. We're here for the cringe PR. But I'm just happy that we got this over the line. Like, guys, I found an old tweet from last year from myself on like the 30th of July. I'm like, me sarcastically tweeting, I don't know about any of you guys, but I would really like it if West Ham would sign someone. And that was on the 30th of July, 2023. And we're on the 1st of August. No, 3rd of August. And we've signed 4 players. That's really good. And we've got 2 players doing their medical. And we've got Wan-Bissaka hopefully coming in next week. And that'll be 7 signings. That's amazing when you look at it like that. And if you want to just say 6 because Wes Fotheringham's a third choice keeper, it doesn't really count. I'm here for that as well. 6 signings. And we needed them. I'm glad the recruitment team really realised how much we needed this rebuild. Like, if you had watched that squad last season, obviously Moyes tax comes in, don't get me wrong. However, for a lot of those batterings, it was a lot of the same players making the same mistakes and a lot of different positions that we needed. Even in games we had won, like Luton at home, for example, like if you watch that first goal back when a cross comes in, like just typical West Ham. Yes, West Ham were on the beach at the time because there was nothing to play for and they pretty much lost it. The manager lost the dressing room by then. But come on, man. Like, some of the players were making the same mistakes, so it's good that we're refreshing it, and the coach that we have will get the best out of some of the players that we probably wouldn't expect. If we sign these 3 with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, how do you rate the transfer window? Oh, that's a good question. Because I was thinking about, like, if we didn't sign a right back or striker, it would be a 0 because we needed a right back and striker. But as we've gone on a real great spree of brilliant signings that we've introduced, because obviously, in my opinion, I know, and I will take into account that a rebuild can't be done in one window. So I get that. Obviously, left back and centre back, I would have loved to be addressed more, but Cresswell and stuff like that. So I would probably give it an 8. I give it an 8 for sure. I give it an 8. I think an 8 is fair. I'm not gonna say 10 out of 10, but definitely an 8. Maybe I'm being harsh, but I think an 8, man. I think 8's fair. I heard Inter Milan's in the race. They pulled out of that race because they wanted a swap deal with Dumfries, so they can't really get Wan-Bissaka unless they get rid of Dumfries. They can't afford to. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka's already agreed personal terms, and we're close to agreeing the price. So they are out of the race. They were in the race last week. Like, we pretty much got rejected by Aaron Wan-Bissaka last week until Inter Milan returned interest, and then the whole Mazraoui thing flipped. So Man United wanted Mazraoui. We then went back in for Wan-Bissaka. Man United lowered their price. We're still trying to agree a price, but they did lower it, and we put all that money into the wages. To up the wages. Like, we haven't gone overboard, I don't think, but he has agreed a contract. It's just, get him over the line sort of thing. Hermoso, formerly of Atletico Madrid, just got a new agent. He's a free agent and Champions League standard defender. I'll take him as Zuma replacement. Yeah, that's the thing. I would take him as Zuma replacement, but I don't think we're going to sign him because, again, like, we are probably interested. We'll probably monitor the situation, but it's very unlikely we sign a centre back unless Aged or Zuma go. So it's a bit difficult, that one. A bit difficult. But I'd take him, obviously. I'd take him, especially as a free agent as well. You take someone with Champions League experience. Like, it's like the Guido Rodriguez thing. Like, I've actually watched Homo, so I do like him, but only thing is he more used to a 3 at the back sort of thing? Would he be more used to a left back situation in a back 4 than he would a centre back? But good on the ball. I think it'd be an upgrade on what we have. I think he'd be better than Aged and Zuma, in my opinion. So I'd take him. Of course I would. I'm not going to say no to Hermoso. Especially 28. I'm pretty sure he's 28 as a centre back. He could play left back as well. You take those. You take those. If for an option that for some reason we would go to a 3 at the back, which I don't think we should, given the type of players that we have, he would fit in like a glove in terms of that situation as well. Like, what, guys? All of you guys that are in the chat right now, or just watching, as Wasim asked me what I would rate the window. What would you guys rate the window if we get Fulkrug, Guido Rodriguez, and Wan-Bissaka over the line? What would you guys rate the window? And we didn't sign a centre back, so it would be. So if I was to read out the signings as Fotheringham, Guilherme, Kilman, Summerville, Fulkrug, Guido Rodriguez, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what would you rate the window out of 10? Put it in the comments. Put it in the chat. Because I think that's a good window. It doesn't close till September. Yeah, it doesn't. A 6 out of 10. Fair enough. Transfer window doesn't close till September. It doesn't, but that would probably be our thing done because we wouldn't be going after any other position. Like, the reason why the Todibo thing was so strong was because that was an opportunistic signing, so we could get away from other clubs trying to get him, and we would forget about Zuma. But we wouldn't be going after anyone after the Wan-Bissaka signing unless someone leaves the club. Obviously, Josiah and Wasim both saying 8 out of 10 as well, so you guys agree with me. Fair enough as well. Like, I think 8 out of 10 is fair. I think, obviously, like a 10 out of 10 window would be like another left back and another centre back, in my opinion. Or maybe 2 centre backs, like instead of Aged and Zuma. But we don't live in fantasy world. We live in the real world. And I still think they've done a good job if they get all of that. All of those signings done. Like, yes, we would need a centre back still, but it depends on sales because it also depends on the wages of everyone that we have, and the fact that obviously if we was to get a centre back, a sale would up like what we could buy the centre back for. 8 out of 10 as well. Big up Jay Woods as well. 8 out of 10. So pretty much, yeah. Just like you said, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I feel a quality centre back would push it to a 9. That's fair. That's completely fair. Like, I pretty much agree with that because I was saying pretty much before the summer that we probably need 3 centre backs just because the 3 centre backs that we had, Ogbonna, Zuma, and Aged, weren't good enough. Obviously, Mavropanos, I would give another chance, and I'm going to give him a chance this season. We'll see how he impresses. I thought Rodriguez medical today. I think every hammer wants Zuma gone. 7 out of 10. Yeah. I want Zuma to go. With all due respect, but he's probably going to leave on a free next season. We're probably not going to make money off him. I think Rodriguez medical is today. Either they're heading for the medical today, or the medicals today. Like, him and Fulkrug are both doing medicals. So I'm sure over the weekend we'll get a couple more, or over the weekend or Monday or Tuesday we'll get, emojis from the ex-West Ham employee as well. And then hopefully by then we've agreed to Wan-Bissaka deal. But we will see about that as well. We will see about that. Like, imagine 3 or 4 deals straight in like that. Like we're like there's not going to be enough time for West Ham to go on a press run with all these signings. Like, it's amazing. I don't know how much English Rodriguez knows, but I'm sure there's a couple people that can help him with that. Thoughts on Carlos Soler? Lopetegui pushing hard for him. Thing is, we're not going to get him anymore because it's unlikely that we would get Rodriguez and Soler. Because it was only going to be one or the other. It was a short list of Fofana, Kante, Soler, and Rodriguez. And Rodriguez was the guy because took an opportunity. It was a deal we were doing undercover to deter clubs away. I think the Soler deal was real, but not only was he heading to Sociedad anyway, I'm pretty sure Sociedad won him and won it in advanced talks. But I think that was also put out there just so we could focus on the Rodriguez deal without it being leaked. So I think it's a balance of both with that. Yeah, George, I'm with you on that. But we do. No one wants him. I don't even think the manager wants him. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to be ahead of him in the pecking order, and then Souček's going to realize that he's not really wanted at the club anymore, and he's not really going to be good enough. If this Rodriguez who people have been telling me who he is, then he's going to be better than Souček, and he's apparently, according to some people, he'd start for West Ham. But I spoke to Strasbourg Steve. He said he's on Souček's level. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But this is also another person, by the way, that would have to adjust to the Premier League at 30 years old. So I'm still going to not really go in on him too much. But if he comes in and starts, that's amazing. We've got another starter. That the thing is, our deeper options will probably be Rodriguez and Paquetá. And judging from the training videos, Lopetegui seems to love Paquetá from the last training video. Seems to be a very good man manager as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who our like deeper midfield options are actually going to be. Because originally we would say Ward-Prowse or Souček would play there before we signed a midfielder. And I think a lot of us wanted a midfielder. But a lot of us maybe thought the midfielder maybe would come down lower or come down later because of the midfielders that we have already. Because of the fact that we have Freddie Potts and Andy Irving and Lewis Orford maybe on the brink. But I think Andy Irving, you could forget Andy Irving pretty much. Like, you're going to see him today. I don't know, we've like made a joke and he's impressed against Dagenham and Redbridge and Ferenc Varos, etc. He did impress me against Palace, but he's probably not going to move the needle for the side. He's definitely better than Souček, but he's not going to move the needle. Like, Lewis Orford will probably get a loan. The contract's announcement will probably come in like a couple of weeks, just because we're going to announce the new signings. And then we're going to let the PR die down for a bit, and then we'll probably announce the Orford thing. That's what I'm guessing. I'm not 90K. I'm just guessing. I mean, fair enough, bro. Fair enough. I'd give him one more chance. But I applied a lot of Moyes tax to James Ward-Prowse last season. But we will see. I think he did well against Wolves. I think he played well in the Wolves game. But however, I get it. I get why people are not happy with James Ward-Prowse, but I applied a lot of Moyes tax due to him playing out of position. As well. Guys, be there for the FPL. I've got a mini announcement, slight announcement. We were talking about it yesterday, and you guys will be able to get involved. A certain Premier League app, and you guys will be able to get involved in. I wonder what that is. I big up Kyle again. Souček is only good with his head. That's the thing as well. Like, he's great aerially. And he's good at blocking a ball. He's good at getting into the box. But you see, everything in between that is very important if you're a midfielder. I don't really want to talk about Souček as much because of the players that we have. And people already know my opinion on him already. But honestly, he's not going to do well in this system. He's not going to do well for Lopetegui because of who he is. Like, in terms of like the type of player he is. Like, let's be honest. He's not good at receiving the ball. He said his on-the-ball ability was underappreciated and gave away the ball against Wolves. He might play well in the bigger games. We might still need him for the bigger games. However, I think if this Guido Rodriguez guy is as good as people say he is, then we're not going to need Souček. we'll have Alvarez and Rodriguez as the midfield pivot if we play to a 4-2-3-1 at times against the big teams. And what was really important as well, we've always discussed, is that we needed someone to complement Alvarez as well. So we're going to see if this Rodriguez guy is the guy to do that. Obviously, at Wolves, Ruben Neves was the guy, the deep line playmaker almost. Rodriguez seems to be the guy who likes to do the diagonals a bit, judging from the comp, judging from that being highlighted a lot. An exit clause from Leeds. Is that a sell-on clause or a release clause? Because I don't think he's going to be a release clause to West Ham. Like, he's not going to have a release clause in the West Ham contract, because I think the club might have learned from the Paquetá Kudus situation. Listen, I'm with you on that, but we can't get another right back currently. So he's going to leave on a free next summer. Let me go to the Twitter. It's on. I'm going to go to the Leeds United Twitter and see if I can get it up. Well, I'm not going to probably share the screen again because I can't probably share club websites. But I'm going to try to see if I can do my thing, do my little bit of due diligence on that. After an exit clause in his contract being triggered. So we triggered something then. Yeah, I mean, okay, so what the clause might have been, unless it was already done already. I don't know whether he signed a new contract in the championship, but if they didn't get promoted, like, you can trigger a clause or whatever. But what that doesn't make sense to me is I think they're doing PR to cover their own backs. Because let me explain something. Why it would have made sense that there's an exit clause in the contract is because we deemed him too expensive at first. But then it was deemed that the price lowered down. So then a lot of the Leeds United fans complained about the fact that the price was so low. Rightly so. It's Summerville. So social media managers watch Twitter. They watch what people say on Twitter in terms of the online fan bases. So I think that they've put that in. They've been like, we can't do anything. Our hands are tied because there was a clause in the contract. I think that's there for their own PR, not for West Ham. Not anything to do with West Ham, but for their own PR. So it's not really got anything to do with us, really. Man said exit clause. But it does seem like bullshit. Like, if I was to click on anything, let me have a look at what they said on their website. An exit clause within his contract was triggered. Yeah, it doesn't really say what the exit clause is, but I'm assuming you know what I mean, like what it specifically is from, because there's a difference between the release clause, a relegation clause, failed to get promotion, and then there's a clause after that. There's all these kind of clauses are in people's contracts now. So, like, again, we will see. We will see. If we look at it now, obviously he joined the Whites before breaking into the team in September 2021. Blah 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 blah. It doesn't say anything about it. So I think it's just to cover their own backs, if I'm being completely real. Let's see if ex-West Ham employer said anything. Obviously we've got the announcement. Has ex-West Ham employee said anything? He hasn't said anything. Surely you would have clarified it. Because it doesn't say anything from his perspective. First covered when Leeds didn't go up. Okay, so that, to be fair, if you look at our old Patreon things, as X usually leaks afterwards, he was on a shortlist for a very long time, but nothing says about the clauses in the contract. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure about that. I think, as I said earlier, they're just covering their own back. There's a lot of PR going on. Clubs do this. Like, they don't have to tell the truth. But that seems to be it. That seems to be it when it comes to Summerville. When it comes to specifically that. All right, we've got pretty much the announcement done. What I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna end this stream here. But make sure to join me for the watch along for Crystal Palace West Ham United. It's gonna be at 11:50, so pretty much in just over 2 hours. So come and join me. Well, in over 2 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, literally 3 hours from now. So I'll be back in 3 hours. Yeah, come and join me then, and I'll see you guys in a bit.